What we're going to do now is nupic.cpp. This is the community fork of nupic core. It contains the C++ code base that was forked a ways back, 2 years ago? I don't know, a year or two ago? Forked from nupic core. And it's been cleaned up a lot and changed a lot. So what I wanted to do here was try and create like a hot gem example in python3. And that's what I was going to do. So let's try and do it. But first I think I'm going to take a break. I only got about an hour. I need to use the restroom, so it's not really starting soon anymore. Let's see. We'll do this. All right. So I can swap those out. Oops. I'll be back. got my capo too. Okay, enough guitar. We should do something. Okay. Been pretty productive today. I mean, aside from sitting through the research meeting, it's productive for them, but not me. Okay, everybody. What was it we were going to do? I'm going to use the next hour or so to let's get out of here. Don't need you. This was the temp directory. Let's go down and make another temp directory. nupic.cpp python3. This may or may not turn into something else. Touch run dot. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll take this. Let's take the algorithms, the quick start for the algorithms API. Where is it? This should be easy, right? Here it is, algorithms API. This file basically is the whole thing. Just take that. This is python3. I'll run a 2 to 3 script on it. This is exactly what I want to run. I'll take the classifier out probably. I just want to get, I want to look. The classifier is going to be something sort of manual, but let's start with this. So pb paste to run.
What are you going to do?
Okay, code this, and we're gonna python3. So we need to run probably a python3 to 2 to 3 tool on it. Maybe I should confirm that it does run first of all. I need something called gymdata.csv. Hey Falco, briefly go through the program. Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, it's a good idea. Here's what I'm gonna do. All right. So an overview. There's a C++ library. Let's call this C++. nupic.cpp, and it's got interfaces for the spatial pooler and the temporal memory. And then there's this hazy bit, this part called pybind. It sort of sits here. And what it does is it opens up these things. It does what's necessary to open those up for use in Python 3. And, well, Python 2 and 3, actually. So we're going to write a program here in Python 3 that basically runs HotGem. Something we've already done in Python 2, but not in Python 3 yet. No, pybind is a tool, not by us. It's a standard bindings tool. So here's a big programming thing. If you're into programming, in any environment that you run, if you program seriously in any environment, you're going to run into a situation where you want to run a C program in whatever environment you're in. You want to call into a C library because there's so many C libraries. And C is really fast. So if you create an algorithm for something and you want to make it really fast, you'll create a version of it in C that's usually, sometimes it's specific to the operating system you want it to run fast on. But anyway, the bindings making bindings is a standard thing that you would do to open up those C libraries in different environments. Pybind is for Python, but there's other bindings tools. that will create bindings for other languages and other environments. So swig is the one we used in nupic core. Before this, nupic, when they forked nupic, they took out swig and they put in pybind, which was great because this is a more recent library, and it's probably a better tool for Python 3 for sure. It's a better tool. So we're going to exercise this. They've created these bindings. So like, if you go, we'll go and look at these bindings. These bindings were written specifically for nupic.cpp. So there's one for the spatial pooler, there's one for the temporal memory, there's some for regions, for the network API, etc. Any interfaces that we want to expose here have to be exposed through this, and then this will provide a Python API that we're going to call into. Okay? So the code that I was just looking at is like super simple. Oh, and you want me to walk through that code, and so let's do that too. I'll walk through this code. This is like, we've got a file. Let's see. Do we have the data file? I want to show you what the data looks like too. This is beginner stuff. So here's what a row of data looks like: a timestamp and a value. So the timestamp is this, a date and a time, and then a scalar value. And then this whole this document, this quick start, walks you through this whole program line by line, and so I really don't know if I need to walk through this because I've already written all this. I'm going to use this exact script because if I can run this script, it's HotGem. It's just the HotGem example. And we're going to predict one step out. I don't think this does any anomaly detection. It just does a one step out prediction. But I'm not sure that we're going to do that part because that requires classification. And I don't want to write a classifier today. Yeah. Yes. So in case anyone is following along, the document that I'm going over is this. I think I already pasted it. Maybe I didn't. But here's the code that we're looking at. But we need to translate it. First of all, we need to get the gem data. So but I already have this. I was using it earlier today. There's some in Freeman. One of them's in Freeman. So I copy Freeman. If you were watching me live stream earlier today, I've been streaming since 8:30. That seems crazy. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 8:30. There's some data in here somewhere. There it is, rec center hourly. And let's move it here and call it gem data. Isn't that what? Yeah, gemdata.csv. There we go. So we got our gem data. And there's supposed to be a model in a YAML file, which we don't have yet. So that model file is also in this quick start. I think there's something about it down here. Raw input file here. So here's the example data. I guess I didn't add a link where you could get all the data, but it doesn't matter. That's what it looks like. And then where's the model params? Model parameters, there it is. So the model parameters are in this YAML file. So I think I should just be able to copy this into the YAML. Model.yaml. Okay, let's see it. There we go. Okay, so there's our model. Model params, so this should work. Now I need to, let's see if this just runs. It might just run. If it just runs, great. But I won't be using any Python 3. Let's create a configuration for it. Python file, current Python file. So let's just call this run Python 3. Current file. file python3. Okay, go. Invalid syntax. Okay, so we are going to have to run the py2 tool. The parameters file is just a configuration. It's not a. It's what you use to create a model. You might call it a model definition. We call it parameters. It's something you use to create a model. It's basically all of the different things and knobs that you could turn as you're putting together this population of cells. It includes things that affect how quickly synapses are created between them, and how quickly they're forgotten, how many cells are going to be in different populations, what's the expected number of bits in the input for different populations. So it's all this stuff. This has nothing to do with PyBind. This has everything to do with HTM. So this has, now does it contain parameters that link to the PyBind? No, don't think about PyBind when we're thinking about this. Just think about what it takes to create the HTM, in HTM theory, a model, right? Cockpit, sure. I guess you could say that, yeah. But we only made this big model parameters file because it was useful when we were running experiments, and you want to have a configuration that you can change and tweak, you know, across the entire thing. Because you'll see this could be broken up into many parts. You've got encoder parameters, and then you've got spatial pooling parameters, and then you've got temporal memory parameters. So this is used, and then there's classifier parameters. So this is used to create all the different components in an HTM network. So it's really a bunch of different parameters all gathered together. And the code is what will essentially read it and use it to create the different pieces. So that's what I'm doing here. The OPF, which I'm not using here. The OPF is a specific framework that does all this stuff for you. You just hand it a model parameter somehow, and it puts all the pieces together, and all you do is just call run on it over and over. It simplifies everything for a lot of the experiments we were doing early on. At this point, I try and encourage people to use the algorithms APIs directly or the network API. There will be no OPF in Python 3. We're not going to use it. We're gonna write hot gem with the algorithms. We're just going to do a simple, not so modular sort of thing. But right now I need to translate this Python 2 to 3. I know there's 2 to 3. Okay, 2 to 3. Usually be installed with the Python interpreter as a script. Okay. Here's an example source. It can be just 2, 2, 3. Which 2, 2. Really? It's right there. It is. That's amazing. OPF is Numenta. It's a standard tool up through nupic 1.0. It will not be moving forward. But yeah, Numenta created it, and really the OPF was created for, hey, thank you for the follow, Chris appreciate it, if I said that right, sorry. Anyway, it was created by Numenta to help experiments. Remember that nupic was a research framework for a long time. So a lot of these artifacts of its architecture are because it was a research framework. Trying to create these algorithms, these populations of cells, and link them together in the right ways so that they displayed, so that they retained the information, so that the theory of spatial pooling and temporal memory worked. This was the framework that they were first implemented in. And tested in, and this whole OPF is really highly coupled to the idea of swarming or hyper search across lots of the parameters. The swarming was designed so that you could mutate all those parameters in that file and run processes over and over and over and find the best set of parameters for a certain data set. that's what the OPF was sort of pigeoned. That's why it was everything grouped together. But what will change? Making models in the future will need a central parameters file. No, you don't need a central parameters file. That's just an artifact of the OPF. And in the example that I'm showing you right now, you don't need a central parameters file either. I'm reading it in, and then I'm extracting out the different parameters in different ways and creating the different components with different parts of the parameters. So there's no need for it to be all in one params file. This is what you need, the interface, the spatial pooler. That's the logic and all this crap that goes into it. That's sort of the interface for creating it. Same thing with temporal memory. Now these values are coming from a parameters file, but the logic is all in here. And some of this stuff could probably be cleaned up because I'm not sure. I don't see the PAM length was one I think we removed, but anyway. Okay, 2 to 3. So basically I just have to run 2 to 3. A diff against the original source is print. Okay. 2 to 3 run. Okay. So headers reader next is just next. So can I just apply the diff? A diff against the original source. Writing the changes back is enabled with that. I might as well. I can always just paste back the other one. Did it work? Where's the reader? Yeah, it did. Okay, let's try it. No module named nupic. Yes, that's true. Right, of course, because, okay, so now we're gonna have to mess some things up. So we're not gonna have an SDR classifier. And this is gonna be nupic.bindings. All of this, because we're gonna import from C, and that's the namespace that's created from that is nupic.bindings. Eventually, I think it's going to be htm.bindings, but we'll get to that. We'll get there when we get there. Random distributed. That's so. I'm not sure if this encoder is gonna. I'm not sure if this encoder has pi bindings or not. So we'll find out. Number of records. This is fine. This is fine. All right. But we are not going to use the classifier. So when we run, we're not creating a classifier. The results are going to be like arrays of cells or something like that. So I'm just encode into array, coding. Nupic is written in C++. Nupic core. And then the algorithms are implemented both in C++ and in Python. It's really loud. It's finally going away. Okay. But yeah, algorithms are in Python and C++. Active columns, compute active cells, bucket, and so here's where we can stop. Once we get active cells, we're gonna stop. And if I can prove that out, then I'll be happy. And we'll just say results append, because results is just an array, so append active cells. Okay. I don't really understand the difference between nupic core and the algorithms. The algorithms are implemented in Python and C++. Nupic core are the C++ algorithms. Nupic are the Python algorithms. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, both of these repositories were forked by the community. So there's a nupic.cpp, which are the C++ algorithms forked from nupic core, and there's nupic.py, which are the Python algorithms forked from nupic. Okay. So if I can get this working, I'll be pretty happy. So I need to pipenv. Somebody told me, I think I used pipenv last time to do something and it was nice. And I'm pretty sure I have pipenv installed. Which pipenv? Yes, I do. So I want to create, I remember nothing about this, but I think Will, hey, Chris Pox. I think Will, who's code all the things, suggested this. Oh, this is sort of a bundler. Maybe this isn't what I wanted. I'll just do a virtual env. I wonder if there's an easy way to do a or to specify a virtual env with this VS Code. VS Code virtual env. Oh, somebody's asked that. Python environments. Virtual environments. Where the extension looks for environments section. Okay, cool. Where the extension looks for environments. Interpreters installs pyen located sbin directly under the workspace project. So I could put one right under the project, or there should be a vn path. See, I have all mine in a certain place. Maybe I'll just create one. Extension also loads an environment variable definitions file. So I'll just create one right here, I guess. So python3 venv. Okay, hold on. Python3. I forgot how to do this. Python3 create virtual env. pip3 install which virtual env, which Python3 virtual env. This isn't the way I did it last time. I used a venv command. Python, and it worked well. venv. That was it. This is what I did. -m venv path to the virtual environment. Ugh. Python3 -m venv venv. I'm gonna put it right here. So something popped up. We noticed a new virtual environment. Do you want to select it for the workspace folder? Yes. Excellent. Worked. Okay. Okay, I think that's exactly what I wanted. So in this venv, I need to install, so I need to be in this virtual environment and I need to install nupic.cpp. So, let me think. Python env bin. No, wait. I thought there was an activate. Bin activate? There is, okay. Permission denied. That's weird. env bin activate. Oh, I have to source it. I always forget to source it. Source env bin activate. So now I'm in, should be in Python3, and I should be able to move into nta nupic.cpp and then run python setup install. Or what was it? Just open it. Pyth readme raw. Is it the right readme? Might not. There it is. Okay, I'm just looking to make sure. I need to install this. Here it is. Python setup install. No, that's Windows. I had this installed earlier. cmake python. Here it is. Python pip install user. Execute the following. This doesn't look familiar. This is what I want. User. I want to build from source. Overwriting existing files. That's fine. Let's build from source. Oh, but I have to go into the Python directory, don't I? cd2 repository root. Python. Hold on. Py. No, that's not right. Hold on. This isn't what I did last time. But they've changed. They've been changing things. So, simple build for Python users, any platform. cd2 repository root. Python setup. But there's no. Where's the setup file? It's right here. So it should work. Python setup install. To build nupic core bindings in OS X. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Here we go. Okay, so I'm installing nupic.cpp, which installs the bindings as well. So once this is installed, I should be able to import nupic.bindings. Here's the bindings. There's the pybind stuff in nupic.cpp. I'm going to look into this. Packaging, source, nupic bindings. I don't know what the packaging is. Sparse link test, temporal memory test, encoders. Hey, they got an RDSE. Awesome. Okay, so the best way to figure out how to use these is probably in the tests. SDR test, check network test, nupic random test, PyRegion test. So do we have algorithms or just regions? Check test. Well, I guess we'll find out. Here's the bindings. Algorithms. There's algorithm bindings. Spatial pool or temporal memory. Okay. So these are the bindings. Insiders version. What is this? Would you like to switch to the insiders channel and install the update? I don't know, I guess. Sure. Whatever that means. Okay, so I have my environment installing. I'm installing. Where did it go? Okay, so we should be set up now. I'm in temp, nupic. Maybe I should move that out of temp. Let's move it out of temp just in case. Let's move it to, well, NTA, I guess. Okay. So now I should be able to run. Now that I've installed, I'm in the VNV, so I should be able to run this. I hope. Not this one, but this one. This is deleted. Should be able to run this. I hope. Wait a minute. Oh, it's changed. I moved everything, so I have to reopen it. Okay. This is what I want to run. Select. I want this one. Great. So that's my local version. Run the current file. Whoops. No module named YAML. So obviously I need a requirements. Okay, so let's try and do this the right way, and we'll stop this. We will go to the files. We will add a new file. Requirements.txt. Hey, thank you for the follow, Cogent. Appreciate it. Does the CPP part run as an independent app, or do you need to run a CPP compiler too each time? So no, a compiler, the compile time happens when you take all your source code and you turn it into bytecode. And that bytecode can only run in specific environments, some environments. So you have to know some things about your environment. Hold on a sec. Okay. So I just compiled the C++ and created bindings for it on this specific environment on my Mac. I'm not testing that it's going to work. We're not. We should have the py bindings. The py bindings that don't care about the environment. So you should be able to do this compilation on different systems to create bytecode for different systems. So the compilation happens for a system specifically, and then the Python can run like around that. So the C has to be compiled in the right environment. But if you try and load that C in a Python environment that's like Linux and it's a different, that's 32-bit instead of 64, it's not going to work. So the C is tricky that way, but the Python is basically written in C, so you have to. So they've got all this tooling around the dynamic language, about it. You don't have to recompile Python; it's interpreted. So there's a difference between being an interpreted language and a compiled language. If you want to experiment with one today, I'd need to compile the nupic. If you want to experiment with one, what? In Python 3? If you were going to write Python 3 HTML code, this is like the only option right now, is what I'm doing right now. We will eventually, I'm going to work with the guys working on the fork so that we can get it up in PyPy, so you can, in Python 3, pip install, I guess it would be called like htm.cpp, and that would give you a Python version, or htm.py or whatever, the Python version of this in whatever environment that you need. So that's like the end result. But right now we don't have that. That's why I'm doing this. It works in Python 2, but not in Python 3. What was I doing? I was writing requirements, and I want to add YAML. That's it. So now, usually when there's a requirements, you've got, you have to pip install that. Oh, I don't have pip in Python 3. Pip 3 install, hopefully. Okay, good. PyYAML, I think it's called PyYAML. What was the error? I think it's PyYAML. Already satisfied. Okay. PyYAML is not defined. How do you do this? I forget. Let me just copy a requirements file from somewhere else. Copy nta nupic requirements text. Here. Just totally overwrote my requirements, but okay, here we go. Kill, die. There it is, pyaml. I think that's all I needed. Okay. If I want to run my own version of Spatial Pooler on my computer, I will need the CPP part running on my computer. It depends on if you want to run your own versions of the Spatial Pooler and what language you want to run them in. I mean, I don't understand. So do I need to install C++? Yeah, if you're gonna change C++ code, the only reason that you would need to compile is if you're going to write C++ code. Otherwise, you shouldn't have to compile just to use but yeah, I guess you can create Python. Once we have the Python, the Python bindings already exist, so you can write your code on top of these algorithms in Python, and you never have to compile them locally. Or once we get them up in PyPy, you won't have to compile them locally. Can I do all the testing without the core? Please. I'm sorry, Falco, I don't know what you're trying to do, so I'm not sure how to answer your questions. What do you want to do? Like the testing, what are you trying to test? Okay. Okay, let's try this again. pyaml is not defined. Oh yeah, let's try this again. Install got pyaml, there we go. Now let's try this again. pyaml is not defined. Wait a minute, what? Oh, I'm not trying to execute that file, I'm trying to execute this file. No module named YAML! Holy cow, okay, maybe there's more than one YAML. python3 YAML module. How do I install the YAML module? Sudo pip install YAML. I have pyaml. So what's up? I don't get that. If you want to learn how HTML works, don't look at the C, look at the Python. You don't have to look at the C at all. You want to learn how HTML works, just look at the spatial pooler.py in Python and the temporal memory.py in Python. Or look at Paul Lamb's versions in JavaScript. Or there's other versions in other languages. Is it fair to say PyBind uses the C++ part as a compiled binary that just works? Yeah, I think so. Jose says, what do you think about Python and how it should adapt for the near future? Well, everybody needs to move to Python 3. That's it, and that's happening. Python 2 end of life is this year, so everyone will be running Python 3 by January. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this work right now, is because we need to be able to run HTML programs written in Python 3. And this method of taking the C++ and nupic.cpp creating the py bindings, which is already done. This is the quickest way to do it. Now we just basically write the python3 code, make sure that we can import this, and that's what I'm still trying to do. Just making sure I can import it. And I don't know why I'm not getting YAML here. It doesn't make sense to me. There should be. I don't even want to specify what version it is. Okay, pip3 uninstall py-yaml. Uninstall. Yes. Uninstall YAML. I don't know, maybe there's something, there's not. Okay. Pip3 install requirements. Install collected packages py-yaml. Okay, Python run. No module name spatial pooler. nupic.bindings.algorithms. But it got into bindings.algorithms. It may be named differently. Let's go look at it. Okay, so if the spatial pooler doesn't look like that, we need to go. Sorry, we need to find out what it looks like. I think I need to stand up. I've only got probably half an hour before I have to go get my kids. But I'm gonna get done what I can. Sorry, Mark. I was under the impression that some essential parts of HTML only existed in C++. That's not true. Sure, no problem. Okay. Okay, what was I gonna do? Extensions have been modified. Please reload the window. Sure. So for spatial pooler, so this troubles me because that's what it looks like. It looks like it should work. I recently messed with this quite a bit, and I had a script. That I wrote. I'm not sure what I did with it. Is there anything in here that shouldn't? No, there's no changes. I wrote this script in one of my earlier live streams, where I just, how did I do that? I swear I might go look at my own stream. This certainly isn't it. This isn't what I'm looking at. I close all. Okay. If it was anywhere, it would have been right in here somewhere. Huh. I don't remember where I did it. But what I would really, because I'm confused why this doesn't work. Just import spatial pooler. Because unless this, let's put a breakpoint here and bug it. Oh, this one doesn't even have YAML. Come on. How do I I don't understand this. I'm in the virtual environment. I'm also in the virtual environment in my shell. Oh, I'm not anymore. Here I am. So I've got this I can run Python here, and I get no module named spatial pooler. Thanks, Jose. In this virtual env, pip3 freeze. This does not have nupic in it. Why not? CPP. Python setup install. Oh, error, permission denied. So, user? Certainly don't want to sudo this. Installed. Error, numpy. There's always a numpy problem, isn't there? Okay, let's see if this got me my pip stuff. There's no nupic here. Why is there no nupic here? I just installed. Maybe this is an error and I can't do this. Okay, let's do this. Let's pip 3 uninstall. Uninstall numpy. Yes. And again, because sometimes it's installed twice. Here it says numpy 1.12.1 was installed, and I just uninstalled it, and it said it was 1.16. I search. So what do I have now? No numpy. I feel like I should uninstall all this stuff. Oh, you know what it is? It could be something worse. python3. No. pip3 freeze. Oh, so there's no numpy here. I bet I uninstalled it entirely. Do you think it uninstalled it globally? I'm in a virtual environment. I don't know. Okay. It's not like this is just going to magically start working. Maybe it will. I've got uninstalled numpy, so perhaps it'll install the right version of numpy now. Still have to put user. When I'm in a virtual env, there should be no. I swear this is a Mac problem. This is not. This is because I shouldn't have to put a -user on here. I'm in a virtual environment. And it still wants write access to the Python 2.7 library. What's the deal with that? Can't create or remove file. This is not the install location. I'm in a Python 3 virtual environment. What the hell does it need to get? Does it need to touch this for? I don't think the problem's with the virtual env. So, I think I'm gonna have to review how I did this last time, and I don't want to do that right now. So, I hate not being able to finish something, but This isn't something I'm going to figure out in half an hour. It's always a Python thing. Permission denied. I totally don't get this. The installation directory you specified. Who specified this? Something. Is this coming from? This might be coming from. It can't be. It must be the distutils default setting. So your account does not have write access. No, it doesn't need write access there. It doesn't need. It shouldn't be an installation directory. This is frustrating. Maybe I didn't create the virtual environment the right way. Maybe I should just get out. Maybe I should get out of the virtual environment. Last time I don't think I used a virtual environment. You can hear the Python frustration all the way in the kitchen. It's not the language. I like the language. It's the honestly, I think it's Apple. I think I'm madder at Apple than anybody. Okay. This is what I do when I don't know what to do. I just like put in file commands over and over. I need to go. You know, I gotta go pick up my kids and I haven't had lunch. You guys are troopers, sticking in with me this whole time, so I will be back on Monday, research meeting. This is not a complex project. Oh, you mean nupic.cpp? I don't know. Excuse me. All I'm trying to do, I'm just sort of doing like a little proof of concept. And all I'm really trying to do